Let's talk about Corsage, the latest with our girl Vicky Crepes
Ah, here she comes again.
as as Empress Elizabeth of Austria, who is admired for her beauty, but she desires to break free from the limits placed on her. Art. This, of course, is Vicky Crepes from our beloved Phantom Thread. So, what did you think of her in Corsage?
I loved her in Corsage. This is a movie in where you're following someone who is a real person, and they were trying to take obviously some liberties in telling her story, and while she was towards the latter half of always being painted, always being in the news, and it's a movie where you're following someone who has a lot of eyes on her, but it's also a movie that's showing you the way that we evolved from paintings to motion pictures, and the way that it correlates to her life and how she was always able
Mm,
to have her image in portraits, and those portraits could be altered, but you cannot alter moving images,
hmm
completely changes what she has in store for the latter half of the movie. But I found that part fascinating, in the way that you see her and her character study of how she moves around this world, and how just little talks over here can affect the way that the entire family is progressing, but then also realizing how a medium and how you're looked upon in the news can change the way that everybody looks at the family as well. This is one that it's grown on both Helena and I. The more that we talk about it, we're just huge Vicky fans as well, and we thought she
hmm
gave a killer performance. There are several shots in this movie that the trailer spoils, by the way. So if you do watch the trailer, you're going to get some of the best shots and reveals. Like, there's no context for it in the spoiler, but in the movie, when you reach that,
Mm.
it's like a profound moment on what this character has gone through. One of my favorite performances of the year. She is up there with it. I really like, again, the way that the script intertwines her reign with the invention of moving images, because you think about it nowadays. There's a big part where, when discussing Instagram, someone can put a picture and it could be altered, but there's a difference between clicking on a live picture, clicking on the actual video, and to see that in the early stages of when this technology was invented, I thought it was a very cool way to go about it. But Corsage was beautiful. I loved it. One of my favorites out of the fest, and one of the early ones we caught as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think her performance is excellent in this. I think maybe I wasn't as strong as you on my reaction to it, although there's a lot of really interesting stuff here. I thought it was more like I got that in moments rather than maybe from the whole thing. And I wanted there to be like a little more of that sort of subversive quality that the film has. But it's really interesting for sure, and it's like a fascinating depiction of like the limits placed on her and how she is able to sort of like as time moves forward, as society evolves, how she sort of finds these places to find something a little bit more
Yep.
fulfilling. So it's a really really interesting film, especially just the whole metaphor of the corsage I think is so effective here too. Yeah, a really interesting movie, really good film. It's going to be out pretty late in the year. I think IFC is
Oof.
releasing this one on like December 23rd. But yeah, add it
If
to
I'm
the watch lists.
if I'm not mistaken, it is also a submission as well for the international
Yeah,
Oscars next year. I'm
is it
blanking on which one it is.
Austria's submission? I think it
It's
is.
probably Austria's.
Yeah, that would make sense.